Hey, welcome back. This is episode number 94 of the Ask Vishwanath show. It's a beautiful evening out here, and I hope you're having a great time. And today's episode, we speak about fear. All sorts of fear. Fear of public speaking, fear of death, fear of, phobias of various things, whatever fear. And how to deal with it. How to feel empowered at that moment and to execute. What does Krishna say about all of these things?
You ask questions and I answer them. This is the Ask Sri Vishwanath show.
Alright, so today's question is from Prithvi Raj, and Prithvi says, I'm Prithvi, currently pursuing a master's degree in San Jose State University. I watched your videos, were very helpful. I have a question. Please do answer. My question is how to overcome fear. I do not know the reason for my fear, but I fear a lot. I'll be grateful if you can answer my question. So Prithvi, that's a great thing. Obviously, Prithvi has not mentioned what sort of fear looks like, category of fear. Is it public speaking? Is it death? Is it a phobia? Is it separation, loneliness, or whatever? So, but fear is fear, right? All right. So, and it's a very powerful question. I want to congratulate you, Prithvi. This is really a very wonderful question. And let's see what Krishna has to say about all these things. But first, let me share with you, my story, my little bit of the encounters of fear. And I had, when I went to United States from Bombay, this was about 15, 16 years back. And I went there not as a student, but as a profession, as a software consultant, and the work there was enormous, and so I had hyper stress, and I was in intensive care unit and all that stuff, and so my parents told me to stop all that nonsense and to come back because health is more important. And so I came back, and then I had all these. I visited all these people who told me, doctors who told me that I had hyper stress, and they gave me all sorts of drugs. I was like, it was a horrible 1 year for me. So much fear, and I was half time drugged. I couldn't do anything, and I had to take a lot of vacations. And personally, no one was happy with me at work as well as at home. No, I went to hell. And I was supposed to keep emergency, medicine, a tablet in my front pocket, or they said I could die, sort of like that stuff. And that was the height of hyper stress I had. And so just imagine if you had a tablet with you, say if you didn't have that, there's a chance of you being dying. It's like carrying an atom bomb with you, it could explode. Such is the fear these doctors create. But anyway, that's a different story. So, I had that, and I had got time, so I said, since I was taking a lot of vacations, a lot of offs, because I was literally useless, I couldn't do anything. Half the time I was fearing, staying away from people and all that stuff. So, I got a chance to enroll for an American public speaking school that was about 15 years back. And so, because I wanted to improve my public speaking and all that stuff. So, I went there, and the speaker was very beautiful, it was very good, he played the music of Yanni, he had this, Vivekananda, all the speech beautifully narrated and all that stuff. And after the first hour of the when this first break, after the first hour during the tea time, morning break, I took this pill from my front pocket and I threw it into the dustbin, never to pick it up again. I don't know what happened, but that, the complete array of, the speeches of Vivekananda and all the great talks that a lot of people have run, a lot of great, he had taken together all the great messages, and he narrated it beautifully. Someone had narrated it, done a voiceover or something, and then this beautiful music of Yanni. Something happened here, and it gave me the strength to basically take that and throw it away, and I never touched it. And I said, it's okay to die, but I don't want to carry the fear of death with me. And it's very, very important that at that moment, something fearless gave me the strength to destroy this fear, just to show that, and it just happened in seconds. And I tell you, I never picked it up. I never had this fear that, I said, it's okay if I die, maybe others were not okay, but that fear just went away. Just imagine, it was just such a relief. Obviously, there were many other things, but this was. Then that's one of the important things when we talk about that. So, always understand that going from fear to fearless is just a switch away. Always remember, it might take a year or one day, but it's all because we are creating the block. It's just a switch away, just like switching on the light. And that should be registered in your mind. That's what I want you to know, Prithvi. Now, how to do it, we'll come to that later. The second thing, what happened was, in this public speaking, as they were recording the, all the public speaking which was done. So, I was really bad at that time. And so I went, and before my chance came, they used to even record the emotions of people before they came on the stage. We were all given a lot of chance to rehearse and all that stuff. So I was sitting and I was sweating, the tongue coming out regularly, the face was also nervous and all sweating, and I was like, and they all recorded that. And obviously, I didn't do that much well when I spoke, but I still spoke. I didn't faint or die or something like that. And what happened was, the next day they played that, and I was watching. This is the first day, so it was a 4-day course. The first day they did that. Second day I saw this thing, and I asked them to send it to me because it was so horrible. I said, surely I can do better than this, because this was so horrible. Because I have a great, I have a very good humor, and I do very well, and this was like someone is going to die, or some animal is going to eat me up, and so much fear for what? Not even talking before people. And so one of the things which I want to tell you is, whenever you record your fear will go away, because I saw my own fear. So someone, fearless at that point in time was seeing that thing and said, oh, this is horrible. Because it's very important that when you see your own fear, that fear becomes conquerable. You see, and that's why many times, if we record our own thoughts, we will be able to overcome it easily, because many times we'll give it out, or just sort of embarrassment, we'll give it out, or whatever it is. So that is very important. Now, the other thing which I wanted, before I proceed and give you this whole wonderful, strong dose of fearlessness, is public speaking is considered, the greatest fear in the world. That is the greatest fear. It said it is the fear about death. People are ready to die, but people are not ready to speak in public. And it's not that, and the thing is, everyone fears, every person coming on stage, or everyone goes through all that fear of loneliness, fear of phobia, various 1,000 phobias are there, for fear of public speaking, fear of death. All these things are, people have gone. And someone will be lying if they don't. I still have fears. I still get that. The only difference is I know that it will just go away. And there's something which is within me, which is fearless. And this is what I want to tell you. Krishna says that every time that you experience fear, and know that there is something fearless present within you every moment. You see, every time that you experience that fear, has something fearless present at that very moment. Every time that you have doubt, there is something which is doubtless. Every time there is, worry, there is something which is happiness. Every time there is sad, there is something within you which is happiness. So every time that you experience fear, there is something within you which is fearless at that very moment. And that is very, very important. And I want you to write this down. If you write this down, you will win the game. This I'm telling you out of experience. Write it down. Every time that you experience fear, there's something fearless present at that very moment for you, inside of you. And that is very important. Because Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, and now I shall reveal to you the greatest knowledge, knowing which there will be no other knowledge needed to be known. And the earth, the air, the fire, the space, the water, and know that to be my eightfold distinct. The earth, the air, the fire, the space, the water, the mind, body, and intellect. Know that to be my eightfold distinctive nature. That is my lower nature, and my higher nature, Arjuna, know it to be other than that. I am the source of all beings. Know all beings to be born of this dual nature. You see, Krishna says, the earth, the air, the fire, space, water, the body, the mind, and intellect, all these emotions, know that to be my lower nature. And my higher nature, know it to be other than that. This is your consciousness. My higher nature, know it to be other than all these 8 things. And I am the source of all beings. Know all beings to be born of this dual nature. So always understand, Prithvi, that we are all born of this dual nature. Dual nature is something which is fearful, something which is emotion, something sad, happiness, and then there's something which is higher nature, which is beyond all these things, which is existing at that very moment. So when you're experiencing the height of fear, there is something within you, your consciousness, which is fearless. And all you got to do is to tap into that, because this is lower nature, this is unreal. We'll come to that. So this is very, very important. This is knowledge. Okay, step 1 is knowledge. Now, most people are concerned with how do I conquer fear and how do I do all this. You see, the first thing you should do is your why should be strong. You should know this. Every time that there's fear, there's something that is fearless. So that's step 1. And you'll ask, how do you do it? The how is trivial, because how is trivial? The why should be strong. If you are convinced about this thing, this lever, there is some lever which you can pull back, that switch, you can be fearless. And that is your victory point. You see, how is trivial? Because people always mistake the how to be everything. The why is everything. The why is strong, everything. And because make the why strong, execute. That's the key, and we'll come to that. So, here's how it works. You see, the mind, in your mind, I want you to imagine that there are channels. Okay, let's say there are 100 channels. So whenever you encounter these situations you're encountering, you'll always carry this fear, because your mind keeps going in this direction. All these directions are like fear direction. It's giving you this emotions of fear, this gunas of fear, which Krishna says as tamas gun. All your channels in your mind, imagine your mind has got these channels. Then what we do is, what I want you to do is open a new channel. So if there are 100 of these channels, you will open a new channel in your mind. And that new channel would be like, a breath of fresh water, a breath of fresh air, wherein you can basically, put all that good stuff which you want, and you can stand there and execute. So the first thing you got to do is open a new channel, like opening a new bank account, or, it's like opening a new website, or joining a new job. So open a new channel in your mind. When you open that, you can tread along that path, whereas all these paths are going to give you fear, because the moment you go here, it's like they are sending out fear. Look at it as a video game. The moment you enter into this, is like fear being thrown, and this is like a new channel, and you can put in fresh water, all fearless stuff. So what do you do? How do you do that? Is first step is, you've got to experience this fearless. We said, every time that there's fear, there's something fearless. So, the first step is experience fearlessness during normal times. That's the step. So, when you are not fearing, normally, that time you experience this fearlessness, and that you do that by doing this verse. Him the weapons cannot cut, fire cannot burn, water cannot wet, air cannot dry. As self cannot be cutted, dried, burnt or wetted, eternal, always existing, all pervasive, stable, immobile, everlasting, the self reads. Go back, read this, write this verse, read it, and meditate it. Write it for 5 minutes, read it for 5 minutes, meditate it. That's all you got to do. To do the step 1, because what you're doing is, in this new channel, you're building this new channel. You do this every day for 30 days. You're building this new channel. It's like a mantra. And you see, as you keep doing it, you're like firming up the faith. You're building this new channel. You're constructing all the, you're making this path secure. You're making yourself feel, strong. That's the new channel. So that's step 1. Step 2 is, you visualize a calm day. Okay? And you can do this. In fact, as you're doing this, as you go after 1 week, you visualize. Step 1 is first week, you do this. And step 2 is visualize a calm day. And then you visualize the beautiful the reflection of the sun in this calm day. Beautiful. And that's your consciousness, serene, beautiful, sublime, and all that wonderful stuff. And then you write this in, the weapons cannot cut, fire cannot burn. And that's wonderful verse. And imagine the beautiful lake. Just imagine it for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. There's a lake is calm, and there's a beautiful sun, which is, you can see its reflection. That's you. And that is your real nature. Now, as you're doing this, you will notice all thoughts coming to the surface. All those fearful thoughts. And that is when you have to know, if you have to continue your reflection, you have to know that this is the fearless thing and this is what is the fear thing. So there is this fear thing coming, which is your lower nature, and then there's fearless thing. And you should know one thing, that this will always win. This is just sort of like, an appearance just trying to put you off, because the lower nature always loses against the higher nature. So know that there's something fearless. You just got, it's like saying, let's say you have two bank accounts, one there is no money and the one there is money. Now if you just keep on saying there's no money in this bank account, there's no money in this bank account, what does it matter? Because you have this other bank account where you can go and get it. So know that this thoughts which are creating fear is just like a broke bank. And so you got to know that this is just giving you thoughts of fear because it's giving you for a million years. But you got to stick to this. Okay, here's how you do it. And you execute. Step one is experience fearlessness. And during normal times, that's in the morning when you have nothing. And second is execute in the field of action. That means, now in the field of action, when you really step up and you experience that fear, remember that there is something fearless. Just remember. And you've got to execute. That means, as these thoughts come up, and you keep doing it, you keep executing, you're not going to die. Let the thoughts of fear come, you step up your fearlessness. Fear. Let this do its job of you do your job to you execute, because Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that the way this works is the gunas, your sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic, and fear is a tamas gun. It pushes the fear thoughts up, it comes to the surface, and you are known by what is there at the surface. I want you to write down. You are known by what is there at the surface. So if in your surface you have 5 fearful thoughts, you will experience fear. If on your surface you have a calm lake, you will experience bliss. And so as these thoughts are sprung up, don't worry, because Krishna says, just as fire burns everything to ashes, the fire of knowledge destroys all works to ashes. This will just go away. Don't worry how. It's like when you have money in one bank account, you can pay anything. What does it matter? You just have it. So this is you have that fearlessness within you, the consciousness. That will destroy this. You don't have to bother how. Okay, that's step 2. Execute the field of action. When you're fearing, know that there's something fearless and execute. Play that battle, and as you do it, you'll get better. And the third is, execute with fear, knowing that there's something fearless always ready to help you. You see, always the most important thing is, what if there's someone who could help you? Be your friend, put your hand over your shoulders and say, well, I'm there to help you. But that is exactly what your consciousness, your jiva does. Execute with fear, know that there's something within you which is waiting to help you. And it's your friend, and Krishna says, the self indeed is the friend of the self, by which the self can be subdued. The self indeed is the foe of one unsubdued. Krishna says, your consciousness is your friend when you subdue these emotions of fear. And your consciousness becomes your enemy when you are not able to do that. So the same consciousness becomes an angel when you listen to it, and with its power you easily subdue that fearful and other emotional thought. And that same consciousness appears as a devil when you're not able to subdue it and you fall for it. So the self, this is your friend. So self indeed is a friend of self, but the self can be subdued. So you should know that you have a friend here, and you should not make it your foe by just allowing that thing to. So self indeed is the friend of the self. Make yourself your best friend to conquer your fear. Because as you're experiencing fear, there is your friend within which is fearless, is always wanting to help you, and it doesn't require any damn self-effort. It doesn't require willpower, and there's no trying. You don't require self-effort. You don't need to do this and that. There's no willpower, no trying. You just got to have faith. And know for certain that Krishna has said, and all the great ones have said, that there is this fearless friend within you which is waiting to help you at all times. You just got to embrace it. I hope I answered your question, Prithvi. You keep asking questions and I keep